In today's video, I want to go over a PlayStation 4 free-to-play title and Dauntless getting a massive update. It is exiting early access and preparing for a new phase with Aether Unbound, and that means it is seeing its official release. Yes, the game has still been classified as an early access title on the PlayStation 4, so we'll talk all about that. Anthem is now available to play dirt cheap. It is available as a part of EA Access, and of course, you can get a year of EA Access for $30, or you can go month by month for $5, so now the game is playable super cheap. We'll talk about that. Also, the Bradwell Conspiracy is a brand new game that's due out this fall. The reveal trailer has been uploaded and that looks like a relatively compelling game, so we'll talk that at the end of this video. But first up, I know that as far as monster hunting goes, everybody is busy with Monster Hunter World Iceborne, and Iceborne has been a terrific expansion. However, Dauntless has made a sizable impact this year as well. And it may actually not seem like it, but the game has actually been in early access this entire duration. Yes, even on the PS4, and generally speaking, PS4 kind of closes its doors to early access titles, but Dauntless being a free-to-play game, it was available in its form, but now it's time for the next phase. Slayers will launch with a patch 1.0, aka Aether Unbound, later this month on September 26th. Dauntless will officially leave its early access period. That same day, we'll see the launch of the Aether Unbound update across the PlayStation 4, PC, and Xbox One. Upon Aether Unbound September 26th arrival, Phoenix Labs plans to unleash a host of fresh content with a new weapon, Behemoth, and more. Some of the additional content the studio named in its blog post on the matter includes the Aether Striker's weapon, a bounty system, and the brand new Dire Behemoth Tempest-born Stormclaw. There is a new Aether Unbound trailer that has been uploaded. You guys can check that out for yourself. But the patch launching later this month isn't the only thing Phoenix Labs is working on. Dauntless will continue to receive updates throughout the remainder of this year as the studio works on new features and general game improvements. This news also comes off of the patch 0.9.3, which launched only a week ago on September 5th, and as a part of that patch, a bunch of new updates were made and quality of life improvements. We covered that in a different video, so you can check that out, but a lot of improvements to the user interface and things like that just to make the game overall a little bit more engaging. And a few of the most notable additions included save loadout slots, the unlocking of the Ramsgate Tavern, new weapon mods for swords and chain blades, and an update to Dauntless UI. Meanwhile, some of the quality of life changes involved an increase in the drop rate of exotic materials and a wide variety of different bug fixes. Now, I know at this point, is Dauntless going to be a game that everyone is super looking to get into? No. Heading into the release of Dauntless back in May, I believe, I was touting it to be a release that's incredibly compelling because Iceborne was still a few months away and Monster Hunter World had been out for, what, 16 months at that point? So we were ready for something new, and a free-to-play experience like Dauntless looked incredibly captivating. Now, Dauntless is a really good game, all things considered. As a free-to-play experience, there's definitely fun to be had, and it does offer its own unique elements comparatively speaking to that of Monster Hunter. So in that sense, I would recommend you to give the game a shot, especially if you do just want to check out a free game. If you don't have any interest in dropping, $50 for Monster Hunter World and Iceborne right now, give Dauntless a go. There's definitely fun to be had, and Phoenix Labs has stayed incredibly committed to the experience. It's just that Monster Hunter World did take a lot of wind underneath the game's sails, and do remember, Dauntless was originally announced before Monster Hunter World, and we knew the game was in development. Now, you can say that Monster Hunter had been around for a very long time, yes, but it was always relegated to Nintendo platforms and portable platforms. Then Capcom comes cruising in with a big budget Monster Hunter game on current gen platforms, and that took a lot of the momentum out of Dauntless. However, I still think it's a relatively compelling multiplayer experience, and I would give it a recommendation, especially as a free-to-play offering. But again, the game will be heading out of early access, and with a ton of new updates come September 26th, so another big update coming to the free-to-play in Dauntless. Do give that a look. Okay, moving on from that, EA Access recently made a transition to the PlayStation 4 just a little under 2 months ago, I believe, and Anthem is now available as a part of your subscription with EA Access. Now, of course, EA Access is $5 a month, or you could pay for the year for $30, so if you pay for the year, that's essentially $2.50 a month. So yes, you can essentially play Anthem and get a bunch of other EA games such as Battlefield 5, all the Need for Speed games. I believe A Way Out is in there, although with A Way Out, you do have to have both people being EA Access subscribers. Whatever the case may be, there are a ton of games available as a part of your EA Access subscription, and now with the inclusion of Anthem, that makes it a bigger offering than ever before. Now, obviously, Anthem isn't everyone's favorite game. Many would look at a game like Anthem being the downfall of BioWare. You can point back to Mass Effect Andromeda, which, by the way, that's also as a part of EA Access, as is BioWare's other title and probably their best game this generation, Dragon Age Inquisition. happen. But Anthem joined the EA Access lineup yesterday, September 12th, and will be available to download and play for free for those who are subscribed to it. That's free in quotations because obviously it's a subscription service and you do have to pay for that. And to have access to the game, you do have to keep your subscription intact, so be mindful of that as well. Now, Anthem, generally speaking, is pretty cheap these days anyway. I think I saw one deal where Anthem, a physical copy of it, was down to $9.99, which is pretty insane given that this game isn't that old. It came out back in February, so it's only been around 7 months, a little under 7 months since the release of the game, and for it to be this cheap, that says a lot about the game and how it's performing from a commercial standpoint. However, if you have an EA Access subscription, if you keep that subscription intact to play games like Battlefield 5 and maybe a lot of the play early trials for games like FIFA 20 and a lot of the other sports titles, checking out Anthem as a part of your subscription, just because it's inherently available as a part of that, I don't think that's all too bad of an idea. Yes, I know everybody and their mother hates Anthem, and I will concede that the game is incredibly disappointing. However, considering you can play it for next to nothing at this point, you might as well give it a shot, see why people hate it so much, and who knows, if you jump in the game with a couple of friends, maybe you can have some enjoyment out of it. Just be mindful of the fact that it isn't the best multiplayer game in the world. If you're expecting something at the caliber of BioWare's previous projects, especially their games last generation, like the original Mass Effect trilogy, the early Dragon Age titles, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, whatever the case may be, Anthem is a different experience, being the fact that it is multiplayer reliant and it just isn't at that level as an RPG experience. But nonetheless, if you go into it with a little bit of an open mind, maybe you can see it as more so a mediocre game rather than the absolute atrocity that the majority of gamers see it for. I know I get some flack because I sometimes go to bat for games like Anthem and Fallout 76. Never have I said that these games are good. I just think that the absolute vitriol that they get and the absolute burial that they get is a little bit over the top, but nonetheless, given what BioWare has done in the past, yes, it is a gigantic drop-off, and I expect much better from them. But they have stayed somewhat committed to updating the game. I really don't think that's going to persist much longer at this point. I think any chance that this game had to make a recovery, which is something that I talk about often, that we've seen games like FF14 and No Man's Sky make a little bit of a recovery over the years. I think Anthem at this point has so much negative press surrounding it, so much negative PR. A lot of people already played the game and they were colossally disappointed by it. I just think it would be very, very difficult to make a recovery with Anthem, and at this point, I just think the story has been kind of spelt out with it, but nonetheless, the game is available as a part of EA Access right now. And lastly, the Bradwell conspiracy has gotten its reveal trailer. Publisher Bossa Studios and developer A Brave Plan has released a new trailer for the Bradwell conspiracy. The trailer follows a cryptic stream that began on September 11th on Bossa Studios' Twitch channel. Viewers were able to uncover Steam keys hidden in a mysterious recording originating somewhere within Bradwell Electronics. Here's a brief overview of the game from the studio themselves. The Bradwell Conspiracy is the first release from A Brave Plan, a team of BAFTA award-winning AAA veteran titles such as Fable, Batman, and Tomb Raider under their new collective dev belts. The game also features music composed by Austin Wintory, who did the Banner Saga and Journey, and both of those games had some tremendous soundtracks, so that is very exciting. The player experiences the dramatic events of the game as an unnamed museum visitor stranded within Bradwell Stonehenge Museum after a sudden explosion. To escape the chaos, the player must work with Amber, a Bradwell employee trapped elsewhere in the collapsing building. Due to an injury, the player's means of communication is sending pictures to Amber via a pair of Bradwell AR smart glasses. However, their escape route is a perilous one, and players will soon find themselves in the depths of a hidden underground facility full of secrets. Game seems to have a really captivating and interesting visual style, a little bit of a watercolor style it looks like. Reminds me a lot of a game like Firewatch. I don't know necessarily if the gameplay is going to be very resemblant of that, but from a presentation and story standpoint where there is that layer of mystery attached to the game, that's exactly what I'm pointing back to. But who knows how this game is going to turn out. We'll see soon enough, as this game is due out this fall. So yes, it's been announced and it's going to see a quick release shortly thereafter. Love it when games do that. I'm tired of games having such long development cycles where they're in development for years on end, even if it is a smaller game and a game that doesn't have as big of a budget like this one does. However, it still looks like a compelling game, and I'm happy that it's going to see a release quickly thereafter. I imagine sometime in October, November, December. If I had to put money on it, probably a November release window. But that is going to conclude this video. Again, for those of you that aren't busy with Monster Hunter World Iceborne, but you want that monster hunting goodness, Dauntless is exiting its early access and preparing for a new phase with Aether Unbound. That's going to see its official release, so that's pretty exciting. For those of you that want to play Anthem for whatever reason super cheap, it is now available as a part of your EA Access subscription, which honestly, 7 months after the fact this game being added isn't all too crazy, given that Battlefield 5 was added relatively quickly also. I just think that's going to be the EA MO going forward, that they're going to keep the game out, sell it for $60, and then 6 to 7 months after the release, they're going to add it as a part of their EA Access subscription. And of course, on PC, if you're an EA Access Premier subscriber, you get access to all of these games anyway. And the Bradwell Conspiracy is a brand new story-driven experience, and it's coming this fall. Pretty excited for that game. I think it could end up surprising a lot of people. That's going to conclude this video. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.